Just to introduce from Race Software, we've got the CEO, Raoul Popescu-Gimis. We've also got Tommy Foster and Miles Lacey. I don't know if they can hear me. Can you hear me? Yes, they can hear me. Yep. Hello, everybody. I'm going to disappear. I'm going to leave the stage now to you three because you clearly know what you're talking about. That's a nice helmet you've got there, Miles. And well, have fun.
Are you sure we know what we are talking about?
Strong assumption there. Strong assumption.
Nice one. So, hello guys, my name is Raoul. I won't even bother to say my surname because it will probably confuse all of you guys. I'm the CEO of Race Software, and today I'm fortunate to have Tommy Foster, a pro driver that I've been engaged for quite a few years right now, and such a talented driver, Miles Lacey, with whom I've been engaged in the past year, and all three together, I think we have got some good success this year, I would say. And also, I would like to thanks for the organizers for making this possible at such a short notice, I would say. And, you know, thanks for being live now. So can we put a presentation up? Nice. So today we'll speak about how to win in racing and how we engineer digital twins at Race Software. However, I'll give you a glimpse into our company as well. So if we can move to the next slide. In our company, we have 6 different divisions. iRace, the one that we'll be focusing today to speak more about, it's developing digital twins, but also gaming engines that we implement, and we work with different gaming companies. We also have an educational portal that provides concise knowledge, especially on the suspension and chassis systems. I will give you a bit of glimpse into the different engineering services that we provide, but also a few examples. At the core of our company, it's our software, which is a SaaS software. You can go on our platform and you can start simulating within a few minutes. But also we have been benchmarking different type of vehicles, but also we offer to customers benchmarking facilities. And also we have different programs in which we engage with academic institutions, universities, drivers, and teams, but also partners which believe in our products. So what is Race Software? Race Software, it's a multi-body dynamics software for the design and concept of the suspension systems. Race, actually, it's an acronym from Rapid Axle Concept Evolution. Our software, it's the first in the world that runs in the cloud. You can do a full kinematics and compliance simulation. So what I mean by this, you can simulate a full axle of a vehicle in the cloud in less than 60 seconds. So you can do verticals, traction, braking, all the type of dynamic tests that you'd see in real life. You can do them in our platform in less than 60 seconds using a secured cloud storage for everything. Where we come in place, we are 20 to 50 times cheaper in comparison to anything which is out there in the market. And I know it sounds strange, but you can achieve in less than 60 seconds what, you know, it can take to companies 6 months or more. I won't keep you a live demo of this capability. However, at the end of the presentation, there is a QR code that you can see a demo, or if you like to learn more, please drop us a line and we'd be happy to keep you a live demo and see how our capability works. About our race education portal, we are fortunate to say that the whole globe it's using our platform to great success, to learn more about the different chassis and suspension systems, key performance indicators, how to tune and how to optimize their suspension system. Our platform is divided in 4 different categories. One that teaches you how to design with our software. We also have courses which are tailor-made and hands-on in order for you to learn how to tune and optimize the suspension and the chassis. And obviously, they come with a diploma on successful completion. As mentioned, we have the most comprehensive database of key performance indicators, and this is free to use, but also we have a tuning section where people can learn again for free how to tune their suspension system. Furthermore, our capabilities are extended with other big educational players such as Formula Careers, which probably has the largest reach for people that work into motorsports or they want to work into motorsports. So check them out, formulacareers.com. A bit about our engineering services. So we are able to do complete vehicle development. To give you an example, which is actually appropriate for the show, considering there is also a classic car show going today at the ADAC Sim Expo, we just completed with one of our clients re-engineering from scratch a Jaguar E-Type with a space frame structure that has custom front and rear double wishbone suspension systems, which have been designed from concept phase up to manufacturing using our capability. Since we have the code, we can simulate any mechanism in the world. However, given our credentials, we are focused on the automotive and motorsport businesses. We have developed with a Formula One team tools to simulate much more efficient Formula One cars, but also this technology can be applied to other single-seater racing series. We have measured different vehicles, so we have a database of vehicles. So if you'd like to design your vehicle, we can help you to position the vehicle from a dynamics point of view in the right target market. But also we can perform, custom benchmarking studies, such as testing the components, scanning the whole vehicle, or basically identifying the structural stiffness of your components. And finally, given our efficiencies, we are bringing our knowledge from high-end motorsports and automotive OEM industries to the gaming level, in which we basically are providing a lean, scalable code at the game level to bring the realism and the right physics to the games. We have quite a few people, entities, racing teams, universities, just to name a few, that have been engaged with our race programs. We've been supporting to great success quite a few universities around the world. Actually, the picture in the background, it's University of Turin from Italy, which they've been using our software to engineer their Formula student car, and check them out. They've been at the top. You can see in pictures we are across the board, from Le Mans as an example, as a racing series, to something which is completely crazy, top fuel drag racing in the States, and we've been supporting across the board to great success. But also, we are open to engage with new partners, new ambassadors that believe in our products in order to scale up. Now we're getting to the main bit. So iRace, this is our division that is focused on sims. We are bringing knowledge from the high-end automotive and motorsports world, and the type of simulators that are used at the highest OEM level in order to bridge the gap to esports and the current sims industry. We've been building models in two different ways, either by building a model from ground up by specifying everything, or by reverse engineering from pro telemetry data in order to build the digital twins. The accuracy that you have with our models, it allows you to put the same performance in real life. And maybe we'll have Tommy speaking a bit later as an example on a Praga R1 digital twin at Silverstone, the difference between a simulator and the real life on a 2 minutes lap was of 0.08 seconds. So you can put the confidence from the sim in the car and basically train at almost no cost. We've been developing digital twins across the board for esports, drivers, teams, individuals that want to level up. You can see on the right a few pictures, actually at the front right, that it's the winning GB4 car from this year, and you can see a few other sim companies that we've been engaged with, but also we are engaged into classic sim racing that we have seen it's actually expanding. This is an actually case scenario how we were able from the sim to actually tune the vehicle in order to win. So the first step was to acquire the engineering data from the actual LMP3 car. We have built the initial chassis through our software, and after that we have built the first derivative on the simulator. Of course, we took into account the engine mapping, gearbox mapping, tire degradation, and all the other parameters in order to build a digital twin. Once we have the first correlation, and based on the regulations, so for example, in this case scenario, you are allowed 4 setups at the front and 6 at the rear from a chassis perspective. We have built different digital twins on the simulator that Tommy could test before going into racing, and based on his performance, the fastest setup, we applied that knowledge from the sim world into the vehicle, and I believe, if I'm right, and maybe Tommy can confirm, he won that race with the eyes closed, more or less. I think they should have been open. So, yeah, that's a real case scenario about how we won in LMP3. This is a slightly more complicated slide, to be honest, in the sense that based on our vast industry experience, we have developed the engineering equations that define the gaming physics. We are currently engaged with a number of companies in order to implement this at their game level. Our code is lean, fast, and scalable, and can be implemented across different programming languages such as C, C++, Python, and others. Instead of using a high computational solver, our equations know at each point in time how to provide accurate physics based on the algorithm that we have developed. This way, the computations are limited to the essentials, but providing the most accurate physics, which lead to the realism, predictability, and driver feeling as in real life. Just a small glimpse, the graph behind, for example, it's the output of the road rendering. It captures the wheel's vertical travel in respect to vehicle's longitudinal displacement. So basically, we are trying to bring high-end, high computational solver capacity in a very scalable, lean manner that can work on everyone's gaming PCs and they can be implemented at the game level. And now that's me, not as good looking as Tommy and Miles, winning in their last race with Prague R1. And now we'll be showing you a totally unbiased video that was shot by Praga, and let's enjoy it.
No pressure, just to break the barrier of literally just jumping out of bed and straight into the car. I put a baseline in. I think we're going to get Miles in and try bring him up to, well, as close to my speed as possible.
I'll be the first to admit I feel a bit green for having not really driven the car in a race situation for 6 months, 5-6 months. So there's a couple of things I was doing yesterday in the high-speed sections that was causing me a lot of problems. So doing stuff like this, just I guess free track time, isn't it? You know, and when the models are as accurate as this is, can't really ask for something better, really. And a real testament to it, Tommy did a 55.9 in the dry yesterday. He comes on the sim and does a 55.9 in the sim too. Try and replicate it out on the track.
UK Praga Cup 2022 Race 3, Praga Racing. Tommy Foster leads from the 87 car of Gordy Much. They head down. Third place is now Ben Collins in the 85.
Driver idea.
So Miles Lacey heads out in the 53. Jay Morton in the 85 car. Jimmy Broadbent's just getting in the background. They pitted a lap later. Here comes Miles Lacey. He's closing up on Broadbent in this battle of the YouTubers at the front of the field. We're into our final lap now on this extraordinary Praga event. There's our leader, Miles Lacey, and Tommy Foster started from pole position. Here comes the 53 car run by Idola Motorsports. Win goes to Tommy Foster and Miles Lacey. Broadbent comes home in second, and Scott Mittel and Charles Hall take third.
Very, very happy to finish it and roll into the part of fame, to be honest. P2 was realistically the best thing we could have done, so pretty happy with that.
So I don't know what there is to say, really. Everything else, short, we've had every possible issue we could have thought of and more. But anyway, we won, so that's the main thing.
Hello guys, I hope you enjoyed that video, and we have some contact details. Feel free to scan the QR code on I think on your left if you like to see a software demo and what's at the core of our company, and also scan the code on the right in order to find all our socials, but also our contact details. Feel free to reach us out for any means. And also at the bottom, you have Miles Lacey, my name, and Tommy Foster. Google them, connect with them, follow them, and we will all be here to answer your questions and for any further engagements. I think now we'll get a bit into a discussion, a totally transparent, unbiased discussion with Tommy Foster and Miles Lacey about their experience working with me, with our company in the past few years, but also, the relationship that Tommy and Miles have personally together as, teammates in a racing championship. So thanks a lot, guys, for joining me today. You have much better backgrounds compared to me, so congrats for that.
Thank you very much for having us on, and thank you to the ADAC Sim Racing Expo for hosting us. Of course, there's a few familiar faces we saw on the panel there for sure, and I'm probably going to be shot now for beating Jimmy Broadbent in a race.
I'm pretty sure, if Jimmy would have had the same digital twin, or you never know, maybe the car, you never know all the aspects behind. But Jimmy, it's a super great guy, and nothing to say. It just happened to have a tool, to utilize in order to, at least in your case, if that's correct, Miles, on that specific case, to be able to train on the simulator before the event, level up your skills, and actually go the next day and put the same performance from the sim on the actual racing car.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. And yeah, hello to everyone that is watching. I suppose it'd be a good idea just to give a very quick introduction as to who we are. So, Raoul, thanks for the introduction. Yes, I'm Miles Lacey. So I've been a professional driver, if you will, for close to a decade now, but certainly not in terms of racing. So my background's in road car development. I was a professional test and development driver for a few luxury OEMs. Developing chassis systems and vehicle ride and handling characteristics. So that's my background, but certainly not in race cars. So when the transition came to move to a race car a couple of years ago, with the opportunity that came from Praga, racing for the factory, no less, that was a hell of a transition to make, for sure. You know, not just jumping into any old race car. This is a full prototype aero car, and they're not easy cars to just jump in and get going. So to call on the experience of race software and, of course, Tommy to help me into that transition was a match made in heaven. So, yeah, Tommy, maybe just give a quick background on yourself just there.
Yes, firstly, hello, everyone. When it comes to racing, it's all I've done my life, since 7, now 20. Been in cars now past 3 years. Big transition, and yeah, I've met a lot of people along the way, yourself, Miles, and Raoul, and I think we had a pretty good year together at the start. Obviously, getting that win, that was quite nice, and I think it really puts or highlights just how well the sim helped Miles. We didn't know we were getting in the car until about a week before the first race. I know for myself, I was on it every day, and then we got Miles in it for a couple of days before, and I think instantly shaved off about 5 seconds worth. And then, yeah, to put that on track was quite impressive, I think, for all three of us.
Yeah, absolutely right, Tommy. Yeah, absolutely right. You know, so yeah, Tommy, he's a young lad. He's 20 years old. I remember being 20 years old, of course. It's only 9 years ago, admittedly. But, you know, to call on his experience, having been in, you know, bona fide prototype race cars for the many years that he has, was brilliant. So, you know, we talked about that transition going from certainly road cars to race cars, but it's a very similar process. If anyone's going from sim racing to real racing, the reality is you know, I'm probably going to be shocked for saying this now, but I wasn't a sim user. I did not use simulators, didn't really believe in them prior to working with race software and Tommy and Raoul, simply because, you know, with my background, I always drive by feel, and it's a case of going out there, figuring it out for myself in a sense, and driving through the seat of my pants. So to move into a simulator where really the feedback is quite minimal, or was quite minimal, didn't work for me until we started working with the digital twins. So the Praga model that both Tommy and I have worked on extensively was such an accurate model that actually spending some time on the simulator with such accuracy, it meant that I could replicate exactly what we were doing on the simulator over to the racetrack. And with Tommy's coaching, not only that, the job of Tommy's job as a coach was extremely difficult previously, because he could tell them how to drive a simulator, for example, but then almost not in a way throw it out the window. But when you get in a car, it's a different story again in the real car. And this just wasn't the case for that at all. We were able to really emulate exactly what we were going to expect on the racetrack.
It was actually the same when I started a few years back to engage with Tommy, and I said, "Hey, Tommy, let me give you a digital twin to try and test." And Tommy was, no, Raoul, I'm not going on the sim. So I really persuaded Tommy to try to give it a try. And actually, you know, Tommy now using the simulator and having so positive views, you know, it was something that, you know, brought the confidence in the work that my team it's doing at Race Software.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, absolutely right, Raoul. And, we've even since then, even since we worked with the Praga model, we're always improving it, of course. And same with the LMP3 model, the GT3 cars, the Porsche Cup car. And, that's just a very, very small selection of the cars we've been working on, but they get better and better and better. And that's not to say that they weren't good straight out of the box, particularly, yeah, without pointing out the obvious. Right. Yes,
You
Ron?
always look for the marginal gains of point mils of a second. So that's where we are. We look at point mils of a second to improve. It's that less than 1% of improvement that, striving for perfection will, probably keep me busy for the rest of our life. So that's why we always look to improve, be, a next step ahead of all the others.
Of course, yeah, of course. The marginal gains are real. The reality is motorsport in the UK is probably, Tommy might say otherwise, but I feel it's one of the most competitive, competitive areas to operate in. The people that are even racing at a club level are extremely talented and working to get those little tiny gains, to go ahead and improve themselves. So any opportunity to do that off track is a win in my eyes. And like I was going to say, that without stating the obvious, people that are racing, doing sim racing, are spending a certain amount of money to do that. Maybe they do want to go racing for real at some point. That certainly was never a chance that I was going to experience or thought I would until the Praga opportunity came along, which was amazing. However, in order to get that level of progression that Tommy has seen and that I have seen over such a short space of time, could potentially take years of testing and racing and an enormous cost. Just to test a Praga for the day is probably £10,000. I haven't got 10 grand in the back pocket to go out and jump in the car every 2 minutes. Neither has Tommy. So anything we can do off track to improve ourselves, improve the car, set up, improve ourselves is a huge gain. And not to forget that it's not only a fraction of the cost, it's almost negligible. And
actually, building up on what you are saying, Mars, if you look at the new drivers, the upcoming, the young drivers, when they don't know about their performance, their parents, they cannot commit to big budgets before of a racing series, or as you mentioned, to pay 6,000, 8,000 pounds just for a couple of hours to test drive. They can actually come and experience different digital twins with us, and their parents can learn about their child's performance, how they feel driving that car, but also they're able to get your input, your coaching, and your life experience to go all with that in order for them to make an educated decision before they could spend, even hundreds of Ks and lose them all, while, at a fraction of a cost, within 1,000 pounds, people, could actually be able to test drive a few digital twins and, take the learning from there in order to move forward or not, or which way to go.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And, if we switch over to Tommy as a case study, the Praga is one thing racing in the UK, the budget is still significant. Racing an LMP3 car in Le Mans Cup, I mean, what are we talking now? £500,000, Tommy, probably for the season, and the rest, those numbers are quite serious. So you've been able to make some incredible progress outside of the car way before you even stepped into the thing, right?
Yeah, the budget is always a tough one to swallow, especially when I jumped into the LMP3. It was during COVID. I think it's the biggest one for me. I've been out the car for a year, lost quite a few sponsors. We got enough for our first race, and it was sort of a all or nothing. And about a month beforehand, we had Raoul come onto the case with this sim that he wanted to build. I was pretty reluctant at the start. Like he says, I didn't really believe in it too much, but we worked on it. We built a model for what we believed would be close. And then when I jumped out in the car, it was pretty impressive. It was near bang on and allowed me to hit the track running, knowing exactly what I had to do, all my braking points, apex points, how to manage tire deg. And like he says, we won the race pretty nicely.
Yeah, you absolutely did. That was a great one to watch, for sure. And I guess the question to you, Tommy, as well is, using maybe myself, like you made a great point at the start. They don't call it silly season for a reason, for no reason, do they? We literally jumped in a car together. We'd never seen this particular car before. We'd never even met before. And then there we are. We just jumped in the Praga, and somehow we managed to pull a deal together to put us in the car together. But it meant that we had basically no prep time at all. So in that week leading up to the Silverstone race, we worked very closely. Still only a couple of days really on the sim, and we came out the box swinging really. So, to put that onto you, Tommy, how did you find that coaching someone like myself, but actually working with a really accurate digital twin model?
It was fun. It was different, it was nice to learn. Obviously, I knew what I had to do, but then to bring you along as well as the amateur driver in these pro-am lineups, we always say you're only as quick as your am driver on track. So to bring you along so far was it was a nice feeling for myself. Even getting you up there with some of the mid-pack pro drivers, which was, I think that's all you can really ask for.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you're too kind, and that was like that was the two things going hand in hand. One, having you as an experienced coach, but to be able to coach on a system that we now trust and have developed ourselves, so we know exactly how it works. And the digital twin models, I don't know where to. There's nothing else. There's nothing else I've experienced like it. So yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think, going forwards, as part of what Race Software wants to do is obviously extend our services to other young upcoming drivers, but not just them. Maybe people that are racing on sims for even for a career or professionally, or even drivers like myself who come from, maybe you've spent a lot of time in different cars. Very lucky, very, very lucky to have driven so many different cars, road cars and race cars over the years. But there was a real gap in my skill set, a huge gap in my skill set for jumping into a car like that we raced and obviously won a few races with. So to be able to call on your knowledge, Tommy, and Raoul and the guys back at Race Software, like I say, it was a match made in heaven for us and to a great success.
It would be probably good to actually create an esports championship on digital twins. So actually, you can find, drivers from all around the world, and you can actually spot talents from all around the world based on an esports championship that it's kept on a digital twin. I think this would be something that would bring a benefit to the whole sim, market. If you guys have any other thoughts, maybe Tommy, just to give a glimpse into the next steps and your latest testing into a slightly higher league. How did you find that? Can you tell us a few words, and maybe after that we jump into some questions from the public and from the audience?
Yes. So this October just gone, I've had a test day in the LMP2 at Portimao. That thing is just insane. Absolutely loved it. By far the quickest thing I've ever driven. We're looking to maybe put a package together to race that for next year, but silly season, you never know what can happen. And I believe we're going to start working on a sim model for that one as well, just to expand our range.
Thanks, Tommy. Thanks, Miles. Anything else, or shall we get some questions from the public for all of us?
Yeah. Let's get some questions in, and as you say,
Well, that was super interesting there. Lots of information, of course. Just so many different aspects around the world of sim racing to get your teeth into, which is really, really exciting. I'm not sure that they can still hear me. I'm wondering, Miles specifically, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
There's only one reason for you to have a trophy in shot, and that's to be asked about it. So come on, tell us about the trophy.
Oh, what, this old thing?
Oh, this little thing, yeah.
Yeah, well, I put that there because that's the first race that Tommy and I won together once when we were racing the Praga. So we raced at Alton Park, and yeah, we had a quite a significant win there. And that was the race I was talking about, where we had very little time to prep, and we spent a few days on the simulator. We put a hell of a lot of work in, and sure enough, yeah, we went and put it on the top step, thanks to the help of Tommy and Raoul.
Well, congratulations on that. Well, thank you very much for your time as well. We really do appreciate it, and hopefully you enjoy the rest of the Sim Racing Expo 2022.